Quick trigger warning before we get started. The video that I am about to show you will be upsetting and disturbing for many people as it does feature animal abuse. If that's not something you can handle seeing right now, please scroll now.
Wait! Oh my God! No! Get your little... Get out! Open his mouth! Creed! Come on! Creed! He just ripped his whole tail off! Open his mouth! Oh my God! No! Oh my God! Why would you leave these animals out? God! Coming down here laughing at me. What is funny? What's funny? What's funny? What would you... Get your ass over here. Your mother- he ate the fucking tail, bro.
So I'm not going to make a video addressing this person directly. I don't play in the trash, and she's made her stance on learning from mistakes and taking criticism extremely clear with the many other people who have tried to educate her. I would have better luck educating a chicken sandwich on the proper care and handling of reptiles than I'd have educating her, so I'm not going to waste my time. Instead, I'm going to address you. Yeah, you, the person watching this. Because at the end of the day, almost everything we've seen here has been a masterclass in clout goblin behavior that this lady would probably try to sell you for $500 along with her cryptocurrency Zoom meeting. And at the end of the same day, only you can prevent clout goblinry, which is why you and I need to talk. See, the fastest way to kill a clout goblin is to starve them of the only sustenance they desire: views, likes, validation, and attention. So stop giving attention to people who have forgotten their non-dominant hand is not just a tripod, and turn every situation, no matter how horrible, embarrassing, or tragic, into content. Stop giving attention to people who exploit their children for views and validation on the internet. Stop giving attention to people who would rather film their pets literally eating each other alive than pull their head out of their ass and put their phone down. Stop watching their shit, stop following them, and for the love of everything holy and unholy alike, stop giving them your money. And that includes your views, comments, and likes. Because not only do those things translate to actual money going into these people's pockets somewhere along the line, those things are their own form of currency in themselves. I promise you, if grass is the only green thing we give them to touch it they eventually will. This woman said with her own 2 thumbs in her comment section that she did this for views and money. She outright said to your face that she exploited a horrible situation in which her pets' lives were at risk to pay her bills. And in the rest of her content, she exploits her children to do the same. Animals should not have to suffer trauma and severe bodily harm due to some weirdo's refusal to seek employment and professional help. Kids should not be exposed to the extensive and well-proven harms of family vlogging because somebody looks at them and sees dollar signs running around instead of tiny humans. None of this should be happening. At this point, her head has gotten so big I'm surprised it still fits in the frame. She's literally telling people trying to help her animals and educate her that they're just trying to use her to promote themselves because she's actually that high on her own farts. The fact that most of them already have a higher follower count than her is neither here nor there, but it never is in these conversations, so I digress. This woman is an animal abuser, a bully, a hypocrite, a scammer, and probably a narcissist too, if I had to guess. And as an audience, we're allowing that. We're funding that, essentially. We need to stop that. We need to get back to losers just being losers, animal abusers just being animal abusers, and questionable parents just being questionable parents. We don't need questionable animal abusing loser influencers. In fact, I think that's the last thing we need. A display of this kind of behavior should not be rewarded, let alone rewarded with money and validation, when that's all the person ever wanted. As an audience, when we see something like this, we need to disengage from that content. I mean, sure, you can attempt to educate someone and try to talk to them about what they did wrong. Some people do just genuinely make mistakes. But when they show time and time again that this is a pattern of behavior, you need to disengage. unless you're one of the seemingly few people willing to bring back bullying and just shun these people entirely. I know there's going to be some people arguing in my comments section saying, oh, well, she captioned it that it was an accidental interaction between the animals. She didn't do this on purpose. And the thing is, I don't care. Even if it was actually just an accidental interaction, she should have been supervising the small child with the live animals she chose to get and is responsible for. And she also should have put down her phone and yanked her head out of her ass for long enough to actually help those animals instead of just turn their suffering into content. And the claim that it is an accidental interaction is also a lie because there's another video on her page of the bearded dragon and leopard gecko interacting. And it's even more disturbing because it also features her small child playing with a dead bearded dragon and is captioned something like, "Guess which one of my pets is dead?" Another thing that concerns me about this situation in particular is that some of you, even if it's a very small number, have kids in her Camp Wanderlust thing. Which the irony of an individual like this owning a business dedicated to education should not be lost on any of us. I guess education is only empowering when it's not her that needs educating, and when it puts cash in her pockets. But personally, I wouldn't want to expose my children to someone who exploits children for a living. There are tons of great after school programs you could put your kids into, especially in LA, that aren't backed by a raging, scamming, animal abusing clout goblin. I have already contacted Los Angeles Animal Control about this issue, and I highly recommend anyone else that wants to do that to do it as well. But that's not enough. Because you see, when Animal Control does figure out who she is and shows up to her house to question her about this, she's just gonna turn that into content too and probably cry about it and try to play the victim. Just like she's playing the victim with everyone being mean to her in her comments and trying to use her for clout. Because that's what people like this do. They can't take accountability for shit. They always gotta be the victim. Don't let them be the victim no more. Stop watching people that do shit like this. Stop following people that do shit like this. Stop supporting the businesses of people who do shit like this. Because if this behavior costs them the only thing they have left, they're not gonna keep doing it. And clout and money are the last things that people like this have left. And here's another thing. This is the kind of audience that people like this attract. These are the kind of comments being left on her videos defending her and supporting her. These are grown men attacking children. These are grown men going after, like, teenage girls. And she supports this. She's liking those comments. I mean, I know she can't control who follows her and who watches her, but you do bear some responsibility for the community you curate and the company you keep. Once the community of people that support you become like 50% assholes, it's not a coincidence. You're doing something to attract that. It's just high time we cut the cord with people like this. High time.